What's up? This is Homjack. Today I have some Dominion gameplay, and this is a game where some friends and I put the other team in last stand, kill them all, and win that way. But check out this pretty good start. If you spawn on this side of Exile, you can kind of jetpack up, just throw some grenades down that middle ramp, and it's a pretty good way to get some double, even triple kills, and then go capture Bravo. So Dominion's a new game type in Halo 4. It is pretty fun, 6v6, but it's not completely obvious how the scoring works. So when I started playing, sometimes the game would just end suddenly, and I wouldn't know why. But it turns out the scoring is not complicated, so I'm just going to explain when your team gets points and how many points you can expect to get. So when the game starts, both teams are trying to capture the three bases, A, B, and C. And if you capture one before the other team, that gives you 10 points. Then there should be a 30-second timer by that base, by the icon for it, and the label should say fortifying. When that 30-second timer runs out, you get 20 points, and that's when turrets and vehicles become available at that base. So once the fortification is done, the timer resets to 45 seconds this time, and the label should say resupplying. If that 45-second timer goes all the way down to 0, you get 30 points, and weapons will drop at that base. So you get some sweet power weapons usually. Okay, so far we have 10 points for the initial capture of a base, 20 points for fortification, and 30 points for resupplying. Oh, and when the resupply is done, the timer will just go back to 45 for another resupply. Now, one thing you might be wondering is what happens when you steal a base from the other team. Well, you don't get any points immediately for that. First, there'll be a 15-second timer where the other team gets a chance to stop the capture, so if that happens, you basically just delayed them getting points for a little while. But if you successfully take the base, the timer will reset to either 30 or 45, depending on if the base was fortifying or resupplying before you took it. And then you control that base. When the timer reaches 0, your team will get the points for it. And that's about it. Got to control those bases to get points in Dominion. The game will end at 400 points unless you do what happens in this game, where if your team controls all three bases at once, the other team goes into last stand, which means they can't respawn, but they all get overshields. And if your team kills them all before they take back one base, then you automatically win the game. Your score will just go straight to 400. So that's awesome when that happens. It also prevents the situation where all but like one or two people on the other team quit, and Join in Progress doesn't seem to be finding anyone to replace them, which I could go on for like a whole other video about how Join in Progress is bad and doesn't always work, but that's not for right now. Anyway, with the last stand thing, you don't have to worry about boring 6v1s that go on for 5 minutes or something like that. But here we go with the last stand. My team just captured C, so we have all three bases now. You'll notice the other team has little markers over their heads to tell us exactly where to find them. And this guy right here is going to try to take B. He starts the capture, but remember my team gets that 15-second window to save the base and prevent the capture. So luckily I'm able to do that. If he had successfully captured B, his team would be able to respawn, last stand would end, and the game would go on like normal. Alright, I hope you learned something from this video. If you have any other questions or feedback, feel free to leave them in the comments, and thanks for watching.